Hello, food wishers. How you doing? Chef John here. Welcome to the chat. I actually have more light this time. Can you see me like too well now? I'm self-conscious. I prefer to be in the shadows, which is why I got into cooking in the first place. I like the idea of being behind the scenes in the kitchen. Anyway, welcome. Sunday, beautiful day in San Francisco. We were up at Kismet yesterday, which is looking really nice. Those little small, I call them wild plums, but then I think they might be called cherry plums, unless those are the same thing. If anyone has little plum knowledge, let me know. But anyway, those are all turning red, so I'm thinking we might need to do a wild plum jam video, which sounds really good. Unfortunately, no one can probably get wild plums. But I heard you can make it with regular plums and some cranberries. So we might try that. I got a little situation going on here. Anyway, let's get to some summer cooking questions. Before we start, in case you don't know, on the videos in these chats, the topics I am allowed to go in detail into are pretty much food related. So just FYI. Having said that, notwithstanding last night's sad news, I am very encouraged by what's been happening. Actually, surprisingly encouraged. And I think there's a certain momentum now that's going to lead to some positive changes. And I am very much looking forward to that. So with that, let's go ahead and get started. I see we have already, as usual, questions that were popping up in the chat here before I even signed on. Jamie, a new member, welcome aboard, is drinking a watermelon agua fresca. And what a perfect place to start a summer cooking challenge or summer cooking chat would be by challenging you to make a watermelon agua fresca. It is basically watermelon juice that you puree and strain a fresh watermelon and serve it over ice. And it has to be one of the most delicious and refreshing things you can have ever. It's a close second to the whiskey sour that I saw so many of you make and post on Twitter, and I'm assuming Instagram. Again, I'm an Instagram lame-o. But anyway, thank you for posting those pictures. I only enjoyed a couple, but all your pictures made me want to enjoy so many more, and maybe too many more. So thank you for that. But anyway, yes, if you haven't made an agua fresca out of watermelon, or any melon for that matter, please do yourself a favor. I challenge you to give that a try. Someone's reminding me of my margarita recipe. Yes, we also filmed that. Never a bad season to drink margaritas, even in the middle of winter. M. Magoo wants to know, do we have a date to move into the new studio and start filming there? We don't, but stay tuned. At some point, you'll see a video and it will say live from Kismet or filmed in Kismet or something Kismet related. But anyway, no, we don't have a date. Lots of people. Oh, Antone Rebello. Antoine. Is that how you say it? I'm not good with French names or really any other type of names for that matter. But anyway, he wants to know if we have a favorite summer version of risotto. I don't necessarily, but I think the obvious answer is make regular risotto and then put in diced seasonal vegetables, whatever is fresh and lovely. I will say, every once in a while, late summer, so maybe it's a little early, but risotto with fresh corn, shaved corn in it, is incredible. With or without some pancetta, that is one of my favorite sort of alternative, non-traditional risottos. Excuse me. I need a little water there. As you saw, using the new stylish two-hand method. Shazner, yes, definitely. Good afternoon from New Jersey. Let's talk about the perfect macaroni salad. Well, not to, pat myself on the back, but I think the macaroni salad we posted, which I believe is called deli style, but don't let that generic name fool you. That, to me, is the ultimate macaroni salad. Now, I like a mayonnaise-based creamy style with all the diced vegetables and things. If you don't like that style and you like the vinaigrette style, the oil and vinegar, you can make that same salad with a different dressing, of course. But for me, when it comes to the classic summer picnic salads, the macaroni, the potato, etc., I'm kind of a traditionalist. I don't like to go too crazy with the different ingredients and different styles. That's what winter's for. You know, it's dark out, you're bored, and you're stuck inside in a snowstorm, and you experiment. When it's summer, we want to go with things that I know I'm going to love and people are going to love. So that classic macaroni salad, I think, is really worth giving a shot if you haven't tried it. Not super creative, but not supposed to be. Not everything's supposed to be super creative. All right, there's kind of a myth that cooks and chefs are constantly trying to develop these new cutting edge things. Some are, but in general, I kind of like just to perfect the classics. And if they work, if it's not broken, don't fix it. For those kind of staple things. Now, other entrees and weeknight meals, we're always looking for something new and exciting. Rema made Bob's Kebabs, which were absolutely good. You mean absolutely amazing or good? Absolutely good. I will take that as an absolutely amazing and translate that compliment. But I really like that recipe. It was shocking. Well, I'm always shocked when the videos don't go viral, like everyone. But that didn't get as much traffic as I thought, and I was thinking, are people are not a fan of Bob? Have they heard about Bob? I don't know. So I probably should have just called it like meat kebabs, and it probably would have got double the traffic. But anyway, that aside, I really loved how those came out. And if you're looking for something to grill and you haven't caught Bob's Kebabs video, you should definitely check that out. Thank you, Stealth Boy. That dude. Whoops. Comments jumped. That dude. When you're ready, I'm gonna do a question. When you're ready. Well, I'm ready, dude. I'm doing the spatchcock chicken, and we'll grill it. Indirect heat, direct. What should I temp for indirect? 145. I think is a good temperature for internal temp for grilled chicken. Which I think pretty sure is lower than the safety guides by your friendly Food and Drug Administration or whoever puts those out. But 145, I think everything that's going to be harmful has been killed at that point. And that way you get juicy white meat, and the dark meat should be cooked through nicely. If you want to go 150, go 150. But yeah, I think indirect heat's the way to go when you're roasting a big hunk of chicken, like a spatchcock whole chicken. But you don't have to pick. You can do indirect heat until it's almost there. And then if it needs a little more color, you can go direct heat for a few minutes. Or the other way, start it on direct heat like we did in our classic barbecue chicken video. If you haven't seen that, it's a really old video, but it gets very good reviews. We start by, charring the skin a little bit, getting some nice grill marks over direct heat. And then we flip it over on the bone side. And in that video, we're still over direct heat because it's a little hibachi style grill. But anyway, you can start direct heat, get some color on the skin side, and then flip it over and go direct heat the rest of the way until it's cooked through. And that's a pretty easy thing to do. Hey, Grape Tomato Girl. Right back at you. Jeff Scott, welcome aboard. Rachel wants to know if any summer drink recipes. Well, we covered whiskey sour, so give that a try. Margarita. There's something called a Ramos Fizz, which is one of my favorite summer drinks. And I don't remember if we filmed that, to be honest with you. Maybe I'll have Michelle do a quick search for that. Which is similar to whiskey sour in that you shake it and it gets all nice and frothy and foamy. But anyway, anything that's really cold and refreshing works for a summer drink for me. Shawnee, I can't go to Kentucky and help you pack. If I went to Kentucky, I would actually go and help people campaign. But that's a different story. Can't get into it. But no, I'm not helping anyone pack. I'm not even going to help myself pack, I don't think. Omar wants to know any chance for a traditional hummus recipe. I'm pretty sure we posted that. And I'm not sure if maybe that wasn't traditional enough for you. I think it was pretty traditional. So go check that out. And when you make our hummus recipe, do yourself a favor and make the falafel recipe to go with it. Man, those came out well. And I see those posted on the social media picture things very often. And people seem to really enjoy that. So go check out both of those. Okay, no Ramos, I'm being told. We have not filmed a Ramos Fizz. That is a travesty. So one of these days we will film a Ramos Fizz. Courtney wants a good michelada recipe. Oh, yeah. A beer cocktail is actually a thing. It is beer with some citrus juice usually, sometimes tomato juice, peppers, other assorted vegetable garnishes, and then they put like ancho or some kind of smoked chili pepper on the rim with some salt and pepper. And it is one of the most refreshing drinks. So that is not a bad idea. And again, I could have swore we did that video. I must just dream these things while I'm after drinking or something. Jim wants to know if I have any ideas for Jerusalem artichokes, aka Sunchokes. Jim, I got bad news for you. I am allergic to those. Believe it or not, a lot of people are. And so I tend to not buy them and cook them because it's not good. So I wish I could. And it's kind of a running joke with Michelle and I. I'll see something amazing on a restaurant menu, back in the day when we could go to restaurants. Hopefully that's going to open up soon here in the Bay Area, but not yet. But anyway, there'll be some amazing sounding entree that just sounds like absolutely the perfect thing I want to eat. And then the last ingredient will be like served on sunchoke puree. And then I'm always so disappointed because I can't have it. Yes, I'm being told we do have a michelada recipe. So go check it out. Thank you, Michelle. Jeff Scott has a ridiculous amount of mint. Please give recommendations other than alcoholic beverages. Well, there you go. You just, wrecked my answer. I was going to say make giant vats, 5-gallon buckets of mint juleps. But anyway, yes, mint tabbouleh, any kind of lamb. You could make a mint jam, and then go ahead and preserve that for future lamb use. So a lamb jelly or a lamb jam or a mint infused other fruit jam, you can use a lot of mint because it shrinks down to nothing. So anyway, that would be my recommendation. Other than that, what do you do with lots of mint? So will you do a braided pie crust video filled with summer fruit? I don't know if I am a big braider of pie crust. I think I know the one you're talking about, but I'm not exactly sure. Once in a while I'll get inspired and do the lattice top. So for me, that's fancy. But you know what? I got to be honest. When I'm making a summer fruit pie and it's summer and it's warm outside and I want to not be inside like a long time, I am just flopping that top crust over with zero extra doodads, and I'm baking it, and then we're eating pie. So sorry to disappoint you. I might not be doing a braided crust video, Cara, but please do not delete your membership over that. I'm sure we can help you out in other ways. Thank you, I think plenty. Donna retracted her message. What was it? Come on, Donna. Maybe there was just a typo. I hope for a positive change also. Thank you for your support. Well, you're welcome. What kind of psychotics aren't hoping for positive change? I don't know. I'm sure they're out there. But anyway, yes, we're all thinking the same happy thoughts about the future, or at least positive thoughts, and then they will turn into happy thoughts when things actually change. Thanks, Jimmy. Howdy, Death Investigator. Very, interesting handle there. Are you a CSI? That would be kind of a crazy job. At least that's how it looks on TV. Remember that show? Whatever happened to that? Tips for summer treats. Mia wants tips for summer treats. Well, that's a really general question. Do you mean like sweet treats? I think one of the more underrated summer sweet treat would be the individual little small ice cream sandwich cookie, which I'm pretty sure we have not done a video for. But anyway, you make some chocolate chip or whatever your favorite cookie is. You make them nice and small. One little like sorbet scoop of ice cream, smush it, pop them in the freezer, and then make sure you obviously pack those on ice when you bring them to the picnic. Otherwise, that will be the most disappointing summer treat ever when you open the cooler and there's just wet cookies. That would not be good. So that's going to be my one treat tip. Little ice cream sandwiches, I think, would be a great idea. And if you're, partying in the backyard, you just keep them in the freezer, of course. Corey wants to know if we're going to do a solyaki recipe. Solyanka. Usually by the fourth time through, I get the pronunciation fairly close. Solyanka. I might do that. I have to Google it and see what it is. We would sit through a whole live of you making Michelle laugh. Well, that's not hard. She is easily amused. That's why I married her. People are saying hello to Michelle. Michelle's so slow. How do you grind so much black pepper for videos? Using my pepper mill takes forever. Well, we just have an old coffee grinder with the kind with the top goes on the bottom and and you can do like a half a cup at a time, and it takes literally 10, 15 seconds. And that's the best way to grind black pepper in mass. Yes, pepper grinders do take a while if you're going to do like a, black pepper coated something. So Trey Broses, that can't be close. That's how we do it. And you just reminded me, thank you for the reminder, 2 great summertime videos coming up this week. Tuesday, in a couple days, we'll be posting my take on the All-American barbecue sauce, which I've never done a video for a straight kind of classic Kansas City style American sweet and tangy ketchup-based tomato sauce, which is shocking. We've done a lot of different regional, and we have a few Asian ones, and we have different really specific regional barbecue sauce recipes. But I've never done an all-purpose, all-occasion, all-American barbecue sauce. So that's coming up Tuesday. It was incredible. Suspiciously few ingredients. Doesn't need to be cooked. It comes together in about 5 minutes. So stay tuned for that. And then the reason the pepper grinder question reminded me of this is on Friday, we'll be posting something called salt and pepper ribs, which are not the Asian style salt and pepper ribs. I think it's Taiwanese maybe, or we used to get them at a Chinese restaurant a long time ago. They were little mini riblets. They were coated in salt and pepper and then fried, wok fried. Those were amazing. But these aren't those, although there's some similarities. These are actually St. Louis style spare ribs that we're doing with a salt and pepper rub. Super minimalist. By far the easiest rib technique I've ever shared on the channel, and they really came out amazingly well. So that's going to be Friday. So thank you for the reminder on that. Where do you source your spices? Andrew wants to know. Nowhere fancy. Just go to the better supermarkets. Usually stock all the nice spices. There's a couple of companies here in San Francisco local that I enjoy. I can't remember the name. Morton and somebody. But anyway, spices, unless you're buying them like at the dollar store or like out of someone's trunk, on the side of the road, they're generally a fairly good quality. And if they're not, take them back. People don't take enough stuff back to the store. If you buy some food product, spice or otherwise, and you're not happy with it, they give you your money back every time. They don't even argue. I don't think people realize this. Same in restaurants, not to, really annoy my restaurant owner friends. But if you order something in a restaurant and you don't enjoy it, you are allowed to call the server over and tell them. And almost always they will say, oh, that's too bad. Sorry about that. Let's get you something else. Because that's just the hospitality business. And you don't want to, abuse that privilege. But if you don't, I read reviews of restaurants and people choke down these horrible meals and then they go home and write a 1-star review. Why did you eat that? As soon as you didn't like it, call them over and make it right. So anyway, little tip. Sorry, restaurateurs, but I had to share that. Jimmy made our steak au poivre. Yes, that is a great use for cracked pepper. Yes, that would be amazing. I want to go for that right now. Broodnod. Like the name. Can you make mint pesto? Yes, absolutely. Great idea. Mint makes a good pesto. So that's a good tip. KT McBride, welcome aboard. Joe Rake 1 wants me to say something about the figurines in the background. He is low vision, legally blind, so the message is very obvious to me. They're actually baseball bobbleheads. We got Madison Bumgarner, unseen here, greatest World Series pitcher of all time. And then Angel Pagan and Denard Span, two not necessarily Hall of Famers, but good Giants. Those are bobbleheads. We got them at the ballpark when, again, we used to be able to go to ballparks. So we're going to be looking forward to getting back to that sometime soon, hopefully. Jim, good point about returning items to the grocery store. I worked there for a summer. It was never a problem. It's not. Bring the stuff back. If you buy meat and you get home and you unwrap it, you're like, ooh, that doesn't smell that fresh. Bring it back. Bring it back. Someone wants me, not someone. Spacehead74 wants an exclusive showing off the equipment and software used to make your videos. Sorry, that is proprietary information. I don't want all the other YouTubers to start using my methods to make their videos look not as professional and seem more amateurish, so I don't think I'll be able to do that. But I will let you in on a secret. I don't have any equipment. I don't have a video camera. I've used just a regular old Canon camera set on video setting, a tripod, no lights, all natural light generally, although I recently got a really nice LED for the new studio that we'll try out when we have light issues and it's getting dark. And then I edit on the laptop in Adobe Premiere, and that is the entire operation. I use a Yeti mic to do the voiceover, and if someone saw my setup, they would be like an actual video producer, creator, like anyone else on YouTube that does this for a living. They would be so sad for me. They'd be like, wow, why do you use all that equipment like that? And I'd be like, well, I'm an old line cook. I don't know how to do things. So anyway, I'm afraid we've done so many videos now, I'm afraid to actually use good equipment. So anyway, maybe one day I'll actually have a list of equipment to brag about. But for now, it's basic. All right. Thank you, Diane. Welcome aboard. Welcome aboard, Ben. Linda, welcome aboard. Thank you so much. The 30 questions just jumped ahead. Here we go. Catching back up. Tyler's surprised we haven't made a classic chicken salad recipe. I am too. I really am. Chicken salad sandwich might be my favorite sandwich. I think. I have so many favorites when I can't pick favorite things, but there's nothing like a classic chicken salad recipe. Now, when you say classic, are we allowed to put like little pieces of grape in there? Or sometimes I like little diced apple in my chicken salad with some walnuts. I'm not a big curry chicken salad fan. I don't know why, because I like curry. But anyway, yeah, I should film that at some point. Is summer a good time for a chicken salad recipe? Probably. Leftover grilled chicken used in a salad would be a great idea. 1 second. Oh, it really is easier that way. All these years I've been drinking water with one hand like an idiot. Anyway, what's my opinion of Taco Bell pizza? Stealth Boy, I hope that's a joke. I used to have like a fake beard mustache setup that I would put on once in a while when I would do fast food so as not to be recognized. But I've not been to a Taco Bell in, I'm happy to say, probably 10 years. So nothing personal. You do you and eat what you want to eat. But I am not familiar because I just don't go there. Thank you, Afik. Rhubarb, strawberry pie, and crisp are really good. And then savory applications, yes. If you ever roast a duck, Jamie Oliver has a great ginger and rhubarb roasted duck recipe. Find that, Google that. He's the man. And that's one of my favorite savory rhubarb preparations. Although, having said that, you cook down some rhubarb with some sugar and vinegar and serve it on some pork chops or anything, roast meat, chicken, like I said, duck. Things that are sort of maybe a little bit gamey, that would be nice. Wild game, of course. But anyway, that's what I would do. Oh, that sounds good, John DeBoer. Brown prosciutto, red onion, and deglazed with a cheap red wine, heavy cream at the end. I would like to eat that. Grape Tomato Girl started an herb garden. Everyone should start that. It's not too late. I know it's like a spring thing, but it's still technically spring. You need to have some herbs growing in your yard or in your windowsill. Because, you go to the store and you buy the bunch of whatever it is for $2 and you use like a couple tablespoons, and then what do you do with it? So anyway, grow some herbs. I'm currently herbless, by the way. We cleaned up our garden here in San Francisco. A bunch of them kind of got, ignored, and some spider mites decided to attack. And we are just going to start over in the new garden. So I'll be planting herbs very soon. We're probably going to do them in containers. I like to do herbs in containers. Just easier to manage. So one herb per pot, and when they die or get weird, you plant some new ones. Easy to do. Pam made my naked tomatoes, which are a pain in the butt to make in that they take a little time to peel. But it is one of the most interesting and luxurious tomato experiences you could ever have. So if you've never tried or seen the naked tomato technique, give it a try. We are almost headed into peak cherry tomato season, and that's when you can do that. Here we go. Jim, you're welcome. Aaron Franklin has a great coffee barbecue sauce. I'm sure he does. Sounds like something he would have. Are people down with Kansas City style sauce? That's my favorite, like generic American style sauce. I like sweet and tangy because we usually put it on like spicy, salty, peppery. Works, totally works. Linda, thank you for joining. Ben, thanks for coming aboard. You're official. Big Red barbecue sauce. I've never heard of it. Death Investigator. Have to check that out. Nick wants to know, Nick Downing, how much in advance do you tape your shows before you publish them? Will you ever have a few in the hopper waiting to space them out? Well, I usually try to turn them in to the corporate overlords a week ahead of time. So that's about as far as I think things out. But sometimes I do. If I find some amazing food to work with, sometimes I'll get inspired and I'll just film the recipe and then voice it over at a future date and post it, months from then. But usually I'm working about a week ahead. Now, sometimes that causes problems. For example, I filmed chicken Kiev one time, which is one of my all-time favorite things to eat. And it was actually inspired by my sister Valerie, who that's one of her favorite things. And anyway, I did a chicken Kiev video recipe, set it up to publish, the next week. And the day it published, I was doing other stuff because it had already been all set up. And I saw on Twitter Kiev was trending. And, like a dummy, I did not even research why. I just made some smart ass tweet like, wow, our chicken Kiev video really must be going viral. Chicken Kiev is trending. Well, it actually was trending because there was a deadly massacre in the middle of the capital of Kiev in the Ukraine, and police were shooting people and people were rioting, and it was a bad scene. And there I was joking about Kiev, which was bad form, of course. So yes, I do film ahead of time, and when I do, I need to pay attention to what's going on. But anyway, that was unfortunate. But generally, I'm living day to day, minute to minute, and I try not to think too far in advance because I want to be cooking sort of what's good and fresh now. But every once in a while, we do one way in advance. And then, I just did dried persimmon video not too long ago, but it was at the end of the persimmon season. And to use that video, you have to start with the persimmons as you're picking them off the tree. So I won't be able to post that until next fall. So stay tuned. But that's going to be that was done way in advance. Joshua, thank you. Morton and Bassett, that's the name. That's a great local spice producer. If you can get some of those, they are really good. And if you work at Morton and Bassett, maybe holler at your boy Chef John, and I just gave you a plug. Maybe I can get some cayenne or something. Let's see here. Got to catch up with the questions. You can't take food back anymore due to COVID. Oh, well, I didn't think of that. Well, that stinks. You probably still can, though, for fresh food. I don't know. They have to throw it away, of course, but you can't be forced to buy bad food. I'm going to have to question that. Rebecca Nixon has Jamaican jerk chicken wings marinated in the fridge. Can't wait to eat them later. Rebecca, that's one of my favorite summer recipes we've ever done. Well, any time of the year, of course, but those are really good on the grill or just roasted in the oven. Another thing you should put on your list are Jamaican jerk wings. Pam, I live on the sand. Okay? It kills everything. I've actually had kefir leaf tree for years, but 3 years on the beach, it sadly didn't make it. Well, that's too bad. Can you not import some dirt, some potting soil or something? Pam, we have to figure this out. But now I know someone that lives on sand, so that worked out that way. Thanks, Tyler. Ooh, Carmine picked up some pork butt, also known as pork shoulder, for the pulled pork pancakes, and can't wait. Well, you're in for a treat. Those were amazing. Hopefully everyone here gives those a try. I'm not big on ridiculous sweet savory pairings, but that worked on every level. If you like breakfast meat with your pancakes, you have to make that recipe. Or if you just like pulled pork, you have to make that recipe. That was one of the best pulled porks I've had in a long, long time. Donna says the prices are up sharply at the butcher. More bean recipes. Well, we did a lot of those, and I got a little beaned out. In fact, I did the panic buy myself. So Michelle and I have lots of beans in storage. So we'll have to make a chili or something coming up soon. In fact, one recipe I have on the list to film that I had an idea for or was reminded of is corkscrew chili. The chili mac, the chili with macaroni in it. So maybe we'll use some of the beans for that. Excuse me. Oh, that's good. Thank you, John. Oh, another summer favorite. This is a little early, but when tomatoes are in peak season, you have to make our either tomato galette or our tomato tart, the classic French tart, puff pastry, mustard, believe it or not, Dijon mustard, sliced, perfect summer tomatoes, salt and pepper, olive oil, I think, some fresh herbs, hot oven, Let it cool. Don't try to eat it hot. It will fall apart. That is one of the greatest summer foods of all time. Grape Tomato Girl, did y'all replant any of the naked lady bulbs around your vegetable garden? I didn't plant them around them, but we did plant them sort of next to them. So yes, I did try to replant as many of those as I could, which was quite a job. That's why my arm is a little weak. I'm having trouble with the water. But we did get those planted. Stealth Boy, I love you too. Linda Dodge, my buffalo chicken nuggets blew her husband's mind last night. He loved them. Happy to help out. Happy to help. That's, again, one of my favorite nuggets. People love a good nugget. And, you know, it is always controversial having to pull out the deep fryer and the house smells like a diner for a couple days. But speaking of summer, extension cord out the window to the backyard. Do your deep frying outside. It's nice out. Get an umbrella. That's where you do your donuts and your French fries and your nuggets, buffalo or otherwise. So don't forget that summer cooking trick. Use an extension cord. Don't, go through any puddles or anything. Be safe. But you should be able to get some power outside, and that is a great place to do deep fried things. Yes, Tyler, it does taste better when you drink with both hands. Pam, that's a good trick for chicken Kiev. You just saute breaded chicken and pour garlic butter over it. I like that trick. Grape Tomato Girl, stuffed grape leaves with quinoa. I don't know. The original ones we posted with the lamb and the rice were so amazing. I'm not sure I could bring myself to stuffing them with quinoa. Nothing personal. I mean, I'll eat quinoa. I'm not too proud. But it really would be the exact same recipe, except we'd switch out the quinoa for the rice. So I think you could do it and just use that recipe. Steak Diane, formerly YO331. Did you change your name because I made fun of it last time? I hope so. This is not much better, by the way. Although Steak Diane is a delicious recipe. But anyway, Steak Diane, formerly YO331, wants to know, how about a fried pickle recipe? No, we're not going to do that. I'm not a fan of fried pickles. Having said that, if you're in a barbecue joint that serves them, or a really awesome dive bar, and the bartender is literally deep frying them at the bar, I will eat a small basket of those with a nice cold beer. But it's just not something I think people need to be doing at home. Certain things you only should eat at state fairs and street fairs and carnivals. Deep fried pickles is one of them. Funnel cakes. Don't make funnel cakes at home. Come on. Deep fried Oreo cookies, Snicker bars, all that ridiculousness. That's just once every 3 years at a fair. You've had one too many and you give it a try. That's fine. But I would be afraid people would be deep frying pickles on a regular basis. I get the appeal: hot, salty, briny. If done right, they're really crunchy. They're good, but they get soggy so fast because they're so wet inside. I'm just not down with fried pickles for the home chef. I'm sorry. Grape Tomato Girl, I do not have a drinking problem. I drink just fine. Hey, Lisa. How you doing? Thank you for the emoji. Yes, Grape Tomato Girl. People that don't live where you live only have a specific tomato season, like middle to late summer. And the rest of the time, the tomatoes are available, but they're always crappy. All right? A lot of people don't realize those tomatoes you get at the store that you really shouldn't be buying. You should only get them in season at farmer's market. Those tomatoes are picked bright green, and then they're put in a truck with some kind of gas, I think carbon monoxide, if I'm not mistaken. Someone will know. Someone will tell me. But anyway, they literally gas the tomatoes to turn them red artificially. I mean, the tomatoes aren't artificial, but they're forced to turn red, not through natural ripeness, just through a process. And then they're brought to your local grocery store and piled up in a nice pyramid. And you walk by and you're like, damn, those tomatoes look nice. Look how red they are. And they're not good. That's why they're not, they're not tasty. They're not sweet. They're just, what do you say? They're not nondescript. So try to eat just tomatoes in season. The rest of the year, sometimes you get the little hot house, purple Cherokee ones they sell now, or the hot house that are still on the vine are like slightly better. But tomatoes are very challenging unless you're getting them like actually from a farm. So that's my one foodie diatribe where I sound like I'm too good to eat supermarket tomatoes. Ryan, did you see me on a flight to Mexico last year? No, and I've already said too much. Good summertime soup? Well, there's only one. The quintessential summertime soup, vichyssoise. One of the 7 words in French I can pronounce, I think, vichyssoise. Cold tomato leek soup is just fantastic and something you should eat definitely once per summer. It's got to be ice cold. Make sure it's at least 90 degrees out, and you can sip it. You can sip it like a drink. You can eat it with a spoon, but it's really one of my favorite things to do. And we have a video for it. Melissa says it's ethylene they use to ripen tomatoes. That is it. So I've never heard anyone have a nice ripe tomato and say, this is good, but I wish it had more ethylene ripening to it. So yes, that's the one. Joe Rake, thank you. Lisa misses the farmer's market. I know. We got to get back to normal here. Although I'm a little afraid about this COVID spike. I'm so torn. All my restaurant friends are, dying for business. And yet I don't want people like literally dying because they're going to restaurants. So I'm a little worried about the spike. Everyone's like all excited to get out of lockdown. I am too. But if you don't have to do stuff around groups of people stuck indoors, maybe don't do that for a while still. Anyway, I don't know anything about this stuff. My instincts say, let's not get too impatient. We waited this long. Let's finish strong, as they say. Oh, John D. Boer. My wife and I love the smashed cucumber salad. Yes. If you haven't experienced the magic of smashing cucumbers, which sounds strange, and the first time I ever ordered it at a restaurant, I was kind of confused because I was like, why would they smash cucumbers? And it looked horrible. It was a bowl of, that's what it was, smashed cucumbers. They put them in like a thing and pounded them. It was an open kitchen. I actually watched the guy make them. And I enjoyed it. It had just a great flavor, but I was confused about the whole concept of why didn't they just, slice them in pretty shapes and use the same dressing. Well, then you learn that when you smash a cucumber and you rupture those cells, different compounds come out. And I don't know, let's say essential oils, free radicals. That's probably not it. Anyway, there's chemical reactions that happen that actually change the flavor. And that's the secret to a smashed cucumber salad. So again, with all these things I'm going to say, if you haven't had that before, try it. Excuse me. Pam Rosenthal. Excuse me. Why are people putting pineapple on their steak to tenderize? Have you done that? Pam, it's a bad idea. Fresh pineapple has an enzyme that if you apply it to meat and then apply heat, not only does it tenderize it, it melts it. It like dissolves it like a science fiction movie. So you got to be really careful. In fact, there's a pineapple scented pork taco, very popular, El Pastor. I'm sure some of you are familiar with it. Sometimes they'll put a fresh pineapple on top of the circular rotisserie. That's redundant. On the rotisserie, and it kind of drips. That's okay. But when you actually marinate pork or whatever meat with pineapple, you really should use like canned pineapple, which has been processed so it doesn't have the enzymes active, or you have to cook the pineapple a little bit first. Otherwise, as soon as it hits the grill, it just falls apart. It's really sad. So you got to be careful with using fresh pineapple with meat. I forget the name of the enzyme, but it tenderizes only too well. And do I like pineapple on pizza, which will probably be the follow-up question? Yes and no. I'm not against it. I've eaten it on ham pizza and enjoyed it. I don't think it's evil. I think it's probably the most ridiculous foodie cocktail party argument in the history of the world. So let's agree not to argue about pineapple on pizza. It's not bad. It's not good. It's, if you like it, it's good. If you don't like it, it's bad, I guess. So let's save some time. You're welcome, Courtney. I'm glad you're keeping you centered. I like to stay in the center, generally. Great tomato, you'll always be young to us. Thank you, Artie. The word Trumpo, that's out of context. Was that something from a different question? Hey, Lynn, glad you caught us. What's the oil do I like to fry with most? I probably fry in canola the most. I'm not afraid to fry in olive oil if I'm pan frying. People get all excited and they think, oh my God, olive oil, you can't use high heat with olive oil. And I always say Italians have been pan frying olive oil since, Caesar was a young guy. So I don't know, maybe that's not the best idea, but I do it and like it. Peanut oil is supposed to be one of the great frying oils of all time. And I know some people that are, fried chicken aficionados say that's the only thing to use. They call it like the vegetarian lard, something like that. So yes, I have fried peanut oil. I like it. But in general, my go-to is a really nicely processed canola oil. Get the fancy one if you can. And anyway, that's what I do. Spacehead, pineapple salsa on cooked meat is a good thing. But that's after the meat's cooked. It's no harm there. Lynette, what's my favorite appetizer? Well, there's so many. But I'm going to go with a childhood favorite that I used to get whenever we would go to a semi-fancy restaurant. And that was Clams Casino. Clams Casino. I always felt like that's what James Bond would eat as an appetizer. I don't know why I had that thought as a kid. But Clams Casino, we have a video for. I did a kind of a modern version. But that's my all-time favorite appetizer if I had to pick one. Again, I preface that by saying I find it really hard to pick favorite things. So, but you made me, so I did. All right, making sure I didn't miss any questions. I'm going to scroll up and then scroll back to the bottom. I don't know what that means, Michelle.
That's a question from Jamie Musselwhite.
I don't see it. Sorry. Apparently there's a question from Jamie Musselwhite that I missed. Oh, here it is. Jamie, could I make a flapper pie? I don't know. What is a flapper pie? Someone describe that for me. Flapper pie.
Yes.
I don't know. What's flapper? What?
Yes. You can make it.
Okay.
Sounds delicious.
All right, flapper pie is apparently a type of pie. But anyway, we'll do some research. People are explaining what happens with the pineapple enzymes, getting very scientific. Oh, green papaya. Joshua just reminded me. I got a couple requests for green papaya salad, like you get at the Thai restaurants. I would love to make that. Is that available in all stores? Can you get those big green unripe papayas? Because that's what you need. You can't like use a regular one. It has to be an unripe, large papaya that you can actually shred the little julienne pieces off to make the salad. But that is one of our favorite appetizers at Thai restaurants. Yes, papaya has the same stuff in it as the pineapple. Be careful, it'll fall apart. You'll have meat mush. You don't want meat mush. Nobody wants grilled meat mush. So be careful with your fruit enzymes. And if you're doing things right, why are we trying to tenderize these meats? I'm confused by this. Meat's not supposed to be that tender. Like if you're grilling meat that's supposed to be eaten medium rare, it's supposed to be tender anyway. And then the other stuff we cook until it falls apart or gets tender enough to bite into. So I'm not understanding. I guess if you're trying to buy like rump roast and make steaks out of it and have it taste like filet mignon, you're trying to tenderize it. But that's just a bad idea from the concept. It's just not a great idea. So anyway, I'm not a big tenderizer guy. Viral Architect, thank you very much. I'm pretending to read here while I rest my voice for a second. Jeff Scott wants my recipes for dummies. Well, I'd be the guy to give you that. I don't know. Is it a kind of noodle? No, Stealth Boy, they do not. Do I have a fast food guilty pleasure? Yes, the fish fillet sandwich would be one of them. And does Popeye's fried chicken count? See, I don't consider that really fast food. But those would be two I would name off the top of my head. Vanilla pie with meringue. That's apparently what a flapper pie is.
Yes.
So, yeah, vanilla pie with meringue. Does that sound good?
Yeah.
Is it like a vanilla custard?
Yeah.
Okay, Michelle keeps saying yes in the background. So maybe we'll try that. Vanilla pie with meringue. I'm going to have to think about that.
Yeah.
I'm having trouble wrapping my brain around it.
It's called flapper pie.
All right, that's enough in there. Jim, yes, the slow mode is on because I can only read these so fast, which is why, by the way, if you're not a member and you're like, why can't I type a question? The first couple of chats I did, it was a free-for-all, and the little thing here where I read the questions was going by so fast because thousands of people were typing at once. And I couldn't do anything. I was like, I just stared at it. I was like, and so that ended up being one of the perks of your hard fought for membership. You get to ask a question in a slow, methodical way, and I actually can read them. And I still, you see, even this slow, I have trouble with them. So, no, we're not monitoring or what's it called, moderating the questions. All the members are very considerate, and nobody goes nuts. So we don't really have to monitor anything. But anyway, that explains the slightly slower getting your questions in. Kara wants to know best recipe for summer squash. I like to slice it and do a casserole with it. So just like you do a scallop potato casserole, just use squash for that. But one tip, big tip with all kinds of squash. Zucchini, silver squash, you name it. Slice it, sprinkle over lots of kosher salt or any salt, but kosher salt is what I use. And then let it sit on some paper towels for 15 minutes or so. And then all the water is drawn out of it. And then you rinse it and pat it dry. And that always makes any squash taste way better. That's one of the secrets to making delicious zucchini, which is so not delicious on its own generally. It's pretty bland, has that little bitterness to it. But when you salt vegetables, eggplant's the same. When you salt vegetables and you draw out that water, a little bit of the bitterness comes with it. Also, because you're drawing out liquid, you're concentrating the flavor, because now there's whatever 30% less liquid, which doesn't have a great flavor. And that is one of my favorite tricks. So I like a nice yellow squash casserole, and always salt it first, though. Lynette, we're not sure, but thank you for the question. We'll let you know when we start broadcasting live from Kismet. We're looking forward to it. Thanks, M. Fredrickson. Melissa wants to know, how do I feel about using a Mandoline vegetable slicer? I think it's a great, great tool. I think everybody should have one, but you have to get one of the gloves, the chain link gloves, when you're doing the otherwise you lose your fingertips. Every cook I know has sliced a fingertip off with a Mandoline who doesn't use one of those safety gloves. They also come with plastic guards, which, you know, I guess those work, but they are kind of annoying because there's little spikes on them and it always falls off the vegetable. So the glove is the way to go. So yes, definitely get a vegetable Mandoline. The green Japanese, relatively inexpensive one, I can't remember the name, but it doesn't matter. It's the light green one you see if you Google or go to Amazon. It's like $40, not too outrageous, maybe even less than that. Those do a great job. They last for years and years, and then you get a new one. Ooh, we just got a whole bunch of questions popped in here, so let me try to finish these off before we sign off. Wow, an hour goes so fast. I can't believe it. Time flies when you're having fun and drinking water. Don't worry, I got backup. Pad Thai recipe, M. Magoo. I assume that's Mr. Magoo. One of these days I'll do it. I'm afraid of doing Pad Thai. I made it a couple times for myself and Michelle, and it just didn't come out as good as what I enjoyed at a restaurant. And generally, I don't care that things don't come out that good. I will show them anyway. But I have a thing with Pad Thai just out of respect. If I'm going to appropriate that recipe, I want to appropriate it and do it justice. So I'll keep practicing, and then we'll let you know. Viral Architect, how essential is a stand mixer in the kitchen? Pretty essential if you do a lot of cooking. It makes a lot of things a lot easier. It's you're kneading bread. That's just one of the most basic uses for it. Whipping large amounts of meringue, egg whites, making different batters where you have to cream the eggs and the sugar. That's always a pain when you're doing it by hand. Although our theory, if you make desserts by hand, you burn the exact number of calories making it as one serving is. So it's a wash. You don't gain weight. But anyway, if you can afford a stand mixer, get a stand mixer. That's just, to me, a no-brainer. And if you can't, the little hand mixer is fine, or just do it all by hand. Nelson, I made your cinnamon buns and bread. Your dough is stickier than most others. Why? Well, sticky dough, hard to work with, annoying doughs are the best textured tasting doughs. That's just a proven scientific fact. Easy doughs to work with, when you put a lot of flour, they're less sticky, easier to form, easier to knead, easier to section, portion, but there's not as much moisture in them. So when they bake, you don't get as tender a crumb, you don't get as nice a matrix of the bubbles. So generally, I like a really wet, sticky dough, especially if you're making something like pizza. The difference between good pizza crust and bad pizza crust really is how wet the dough is for the most part, I think. Thanks, Matt. Stealth Boy, do you smoke weed? Well, that is such a personal question. What was the question? Lost it. Oh, weed. I'd rather not say. Skylar, thank you. Thank you for joining. Great Tomato Girl, yes, please type slower. Dalton made Indian-style lentils with veggies, corn squash last night. So good. That sounds really good. And another fantastic use of squash. Thank you, Michael. Ooh, what happened? Thank you, Michael. Yes, I'm still yelling when I see someone joins. It's just adrenaline. Kara's been watching our channel since 2012. Well, that's a long time. Unless you consider we started in 2000, was it 7? I can't remember. Wow. Time really does fly. Speaking of time flying. All right, we're over an hour. We're in overtime. Congratulations. You're officially now on Food Wishes After Hours overtime special. We'll wrap up the last few of these questions and I'll sign off because I got lots of things to do today, including finishing off that amazing salt and pepper rib recipe, which I'm so excited for you to see. Michael, sticky garlic pork chop is probably my favorite pork chop recipe. Thank you for mentioning. Time flies when you're good company. Yes, definitely. Courtney sliced her finger on Christmas Day. So bad. Traumatized to this day. Good story. Thank you. Pad Thai is tough to get right. I know. I got to keep trying. Jim really wants to get the meat grinder attachment so he can make those amazing looking blue cheese steak burgers. Yeah, if you're going to get a stand mixer, please spend the extra whatever it is, get the grinder attachment so you can make your own sausage and your own burgers. That is definitely a must if you can fork over the extra few dollars. After hours, what is the drink of the hour? Well, it's water. Or whiskey sour. Thank you, Larry. All right, right now, if you're watching overtime and you're not a member, we're going to have a special here. If you join over the next 30 seconds, we'll let you join at the same price everybody who's already joined paid. But that's only for the next 30 seconds. Let's see how many we can get. Let's go, people. Thank you, Larry. Remember, same price. 20 seconds left. Same price. No more. What do I think about the KitchenAid pasta attachment? I don't have it. Don't use it. I have a separate pasta maker. Oh, no, actually, what am I saying? I do have a pasta attachment for the KitchenAid, and it works great. I also have a hand one that we've used in the past. No, those work good. Again, sausage attachment, yes. Pasta maker attachment, I would say definitely if you can swing it. Thank you, Melody. All right, we got a few more seconds. I think I got all the questions except for the ones I didn't get to. If you're still on and I missed your question and it was super good, I'm going to go for another minute here. Otherwise, everyone just starts saying goodbye. So it totally jams up the chat, and I can't see any of the new ones. All right, I think I got them all. Thank you, Heather. You're welcome, everybody. And I love seeing the different color member icons. That means we got the newbies with the OGs, and it's good to see. Thank you so much for all the support. All kidding aside, it really means a tremendous amount to Michelle and I, and we are so excited to be in the process of opening up the new kitchen studio. The vegetable beds are looking great. I'll do an update from there soon. Put in a couple new things, nothing too exciting. And I got a couple old bookcases I might turn into vegetable beds. Still thinking about that. So stay tuned for that. Goodbye, everybody. Happy Sunday. Stay safe. Think good thoughts. Like I said, I think things are changing for the better. You know what I'm talking about. So we all got to just do and say and think the right things and visualize a better tomorrow, better food, better everything. All right, that's it. Jim says word. That would be a good way to end. But then there's always like one more that pops in, and then I don't hit the end button. So here I go. I'm going to start reaching for it. And maybe there won't be any new comments and I'll be able to hit this. Here we go. Let me get one last drink of water. Here we go. The end button. End stream. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you in a couple weeks. We'll do this again. Stay tuned for barbecue sauce and ribs this week. And thank you for all the great suggestions. Have a great rest of the day. Bye.